of the worst things that can happen to a musician or anybody who's been hired for a particular job or gig is to show up and forget something that is essential for the gig. And then either you have to go back home and get it, or you have to cancel the gig. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Devin Bishop. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we're just gonna talk about some things you don't wanna forget whenever you're going to a gig. So we're gonna go over some essential things. We're going to go over some convenient things, and then we're just going to talk about some little things that you may forget again, but eventually they're going to make it onto the list. First things first, essentials. So these are things like speaker, if you bring your own PA, speaker stand, cords, cables, power cords, even an extra battery if your guitar battery dies. Just things that will prevent you from playing the gig if you forget them. And so one of the things that sticks out immediately to me, a couple of things actually, is I showed up to a gig one time probably a year ago, and I was living probably 5 minutes from the place at the time, and I showed up, got everything packed up, and then I usually always bring in my guitar last. And I go to my guitar, the guitar is gone. And so I had to run home. Thankfully, I lived just 5-10 minutes away, and I actually started probably 2 or 3 minutes late, but it was fine. It didn't matter. And usually when that happens, I end up staying like 5-10 minutes late. Even sometimes when things are lively, you end up staying 10, 15, 20 minutes, Another essential thing that I forgot was a power cord. So I showed up to a gig one time, and the gig was 30 minutes away. Actually, I think I just made it halfway, and I realized that in the backpack that I had brought, I forgot the power cord for the speaker. And so I had a dedicated list at that point of things I didn't need to forget. But at that point, I started routinely checking the list every time I left, even if I had everything. So these things are things that you can't do the gig without. So for a guitar player, a thing like a battery is something that's easily forgotten because you don't think your guitar needs a battery at the time. So you put it in your case, you show up to the gig, you get maybe 30 minutes into the gig, and then you get that red light that says that your guitar is about to die, right? And so thankfully I haven't had that scenario where I forgot a battery. There's been 2 times where my battery has died during the gig, and for some reason it's always during the gig. It would be extremely frustrating if you're playing and then your guitar just died, right? In all of this, probably the most important thing to remember is to make a list. And that's what I've done, and that's really helped me keep things on track and keep my thoughts straight. Okay, the second thing we're going to talk about are convenient items. These are things that aren't essential, but if you forget them, can make the gig harder. And so you're definitely going to remember to pack them next time, but the gig can still go on. You can still perform. And so one of the things that comes to my mind with this is a guitar stand. And so there's been 3 or 4 times that I've forgotten to pack a guitar stand, and always the next time I remember, but later on down the road, something happens and I just forget it again. But the guitar stand is so convenient and helpful because if you're taking a break, which I take a break at the top of every hour, 10 minutes. And so I set my guitar to the side, go to the bathroom, grab a drink, whatever. But if you don't have that guitar stand, either you're going to have to unplug, put your guitar in the case, close it back up, and then when your break is over, pick it back up, plug it in again. And during that whole process, you got to make sure your system is off or you have something muted so that you don't get that pop, right? And so forgetting your guitar stand is just such an annoyance. You can still make the gig happen, but it's just really helpful to have that. Other convenient items that you'd want to remember are an extra set of strings, your backpack, a chair, a phone, even some extra picks. The next thing we're going to talk about are little things. And so now with the little things, you can perform, but because of the nature of the little things, you're more than likely to forget again, even maybe 2 gigs in a row. So these are just things that are really easy to look over. So I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten a tip jar, and it's the worst thing because then you only make a set amount, right? And occasionally someone will drop a 5 on my pedal board, which is always kind of interesting, or 10, or they'll just come up to me and then they'll hand me money if I forget a tip jar. But it's just not so clean, not so convenient, especially if you're playing and they're trying to hand you money, you have to stop, right? Another thing that I have forgotten quite a bit are business cards. And so now I keep them stocked in my wallet all the time. I even have some like stashed in my bag, because people will come up and ask me, what do I charge if I give lessons? Just different things. And it's always nice just to hand them a business card, and then they can view all the information there and find your social media handles, those kind of things. Something so small as a pair of fingernail clippers, you don't think that it would matter that much, and it really doesn't. But one of the most annoying things that's happened to me 2 or 3 times is I'll practice the day of, 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll go shower, get ready for the gig, leave. And then whenever I grab my guitar, the next time, there's something about taking a shower that makes my fingernails just come out just a little bit more. And then when I get ready to play, I immediately feel it. And so having the fingernail clippers there is great, so that, you can make sure that you're ready to go. All right, guys, thanks for watching. So I would say the biggest thing, make a list on your notes. Even if you have like a notes file of just like all the songs that you play, like I do, you can also include at the bottom a list of all the things that you don't want to forget. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next video.